Narcissistic siblings is today's topic. And I want to begin with a thank you to the listener who asked if I would consider addressing this topic. And she said something that really stayed with me, that while romantic relationships get the most attention in these conversations, and understandably so, there's another battlefield that can be just as destructive, if not more. The family home, the sibling relationship. Now, I want to be really transparent here. This isn't something I've personally seen up close and personal, but when I read her words, I knew she was right. Narcissistic abuse doesn't always begin with a romantic partner. Sometimes and often it begins with the person who shared your childhood, your space, your memories. Sometimes a narcissist is your sibling. And the pain of that has got to be so uniquely devastating. After hours of researching and contemplation, I see what makes sibling narcissism so complex. Society expects siblings to be bonded for life. You're taught to get along, to just let it go, to be the bigger person. And when you're the one being manipulated, undermined, or emotionally attacked, you may not even have the words to explain what's happening, especially if your parents don't see it, or worse, if they enable it. For some of you listening, the narcissist wasn't just your sibling. They were the golden child, the favorite, if you will. And maybe you were the scapegoat, which means you were probably gaslit, criticized, and told that's all normal. You may have been shamed for not forgiving, for not keeping the peace, for making things difficult. But the truth is, you were living in a system that protected the dysfunction and left you questioning your own reality. And it goes deeper. Let's talk more about triangulation, because in sibling narcissism, it often takes a very specific and devastating form. The narcissist pulling your parents or other family members into the dynamic. They twist the conversations, rewrite history, and slowly position themselves as the victim or the hero, while painting you as unstable, selfish, or hypersensitive. Over time, you may find yourself completely alienated. Parents siding with the narcissist, other siblings joining in. I can only imagine what holidays look like. Holidays was a battlefield or something that you just stopped showing up for. And in the worst cases, when you finally choose to step away for your own peace, it's just not the sibling you lose, it's everyone. The grief of that loss is something I don't think we talk about enough. It's not just painful, it's disorienting. And it can happen so slowly, so subtly that by the time you realize what's happened, you're standing alone, cut off not just from one relationship, but from an entire identity you thought you had. That kind of isolation has got to be excruciating. And it's why so many survivors say that sibling narcissism, especially when reinforced by the family system, is just as damaging as a toxic partner. In some ways, even harder to untangle because it's woven into your entire story. And what I want to say, especially to the listener who asked for this, is thank you. Thank you for asking the question, for speaking the truth that so many are living and often living quietly. To anyone listening who sees themselves in this situation, who has distanced themselves from a sibling and feels guilt, who was never believed, who still dreads family holidays, you are not alone. You are not overreacting. You are not the one who failed the family. Sometimes walking away isn't a betrayal. It's survival, it's healing, it's choosing your peace. This podcast, this space is not just about romantic recovery. It's about reclaiming your voice after narcissistic abuse in any form. And so even if I haven't lived this story myself, I want you to know you're welcome here. Your pain is real. Your story matters. And I hope this episode is a small beginning of a much bigger conversation. As I continue to learn more about sibling narcissism, do more research, and most importantly, listen to you, to those of you who are living it, I'll keep growing this conversation in the most meaningful way I can. Your voices are shaping this space, and I'm grateful for every one of you. If this episode touched something in you, if it brought up memories or helped put words to something you've never said out loud, I just want you to know you are seen and you are not alone. Sibling narcissism is one of those hidden wounds that often goes unacknowledged, especially when the rest of the family refuses to see it. But here we see it and we believe you. If you feel safe enough to share, I invite you to leave a comment, whether it's your full story or just a few words. That was me, I lived this, or I understand. Your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you're not ready to speak up yet, it's okay too. Just know that this space will still be here when you are ready. Thank you for being a part of this community. I'm honored to walk this healing journey with you. I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney and author of Undercurrent, a novel based on the story of a young woman named Annie who finds the strength to escape a narcissistic marriage and rebuild her life. Annie's journey mirrors the experience of so many feeling unseen, unheard, and so deeply alone. I created this space because I know how important it is to fight for your voice, to walk through fire and to come out stronger, whether you're healing from a toxic partner, a family dynamic, or something you can't even put a name to yet. I'm glad you're here. You matter and your story matters. And as always, I want you to know that you are stronger than you think. I want you to be tenacious and never give up on what's important to you. Thank you for being here on this journey with me. Until next time, bye.